Okay, I did a quick video before. It wasn't that quick, it's about 12 minutes, but this is the second video, a little follow-up for that. I want to talk about bankruptcies real quick, and I talked about it a little bit on the other video. I just want to go over it a little bit again with the bankruptcies. Again, I want to really emphasize this point. If you're going to do a chapter bankruptcy at all, you want to do a chapter 7. Chapter 7 is going to get rid of all your debts. If you haven't filed in the past 10 years, I would recommend you doing a chapter 7 if you need to do that. However, before you even do a bankruptcy, I would suggest you see a credit professional that can probably help you get through that debt without having to file. Because, in my opinion, my humble opinion, I believe that bankruptcy is equivalent to a plea bargain. I call them that all the time. All my clients come in the office, I'll tell them if you file a bankruptcy, I think it's equivalent to a plea bargain. What I mean by that is this: you can do a plea bargain, just like if you get arrested, if you get locked up for some sort of crime or whatever, whether you committed it or didn't, or you were fraudulently accused of doing so, or whatever. A lot of times, the prosecutors have your attorney or whoever your person is that's helping you. These whatever they'll push for a plea bargain. Okay, plea bargain meaning it could be a few different things. People who understand law know this more than I do, but my assessment of it is, hey, you set up a deal. You tell on somebody, or you say this, or you admit to doing this because you admitted to doing this, and blah blah blah. You're gonna do community service. You get 2 years probation, but you're home free. You get out of jail. Well, that's cool. So you're happy. You said, you know what? I did a plea bargain. I don't have to sit in and do no time. I can do my community service. I can be on probation as long as I don't do anything for the next 2 years. However long that probation is, I'm cool. I'm happy with that. Well, that's cool. But then you get the way it traditionally worked is it's hard for you to get a job because a lot of places, unless it's specifically they're specifically designed to hire people who are ex-felons or whatever. They normally don't hire people who have records because once you do a plea bargain, you're admitting to guilt, and you're basically that's a strike on your record, on your background. That's one. You can't purchase guns. You can't work certain jobs I just mentioned. Third thing is a lot of times you can't apply for housing or Section 8 housing or food stamps or anything like that. So those are the things. You're out free, but you can't do anything. You can't do the things you normally would be able to do. You're still restricted. You're still being watched and monitored. Bankruptcy, same thing. Bankruptcy, they get rid of your debt. Hallelujah, I'm done. I don't have to hear these phone calls anymore, these threatening messages, all this mess from these credit collection agencies. That's great. You're done. You don't own the debt, blah, blah, blah. Cool. But you can't apply for anything. You can apply for stuff, but they basically it's like a bait and switch. Hey, come and get this car. You just got a bankruptcy. No problem. They give you this car you kind of you like, but you don't really love it. You know what I'm saying? So you got this car, you don't really love it, or you got this situation, you're not really happy, and so because of that, you have to accept what you get. And because you just accepted what you've gotten, that's it. They got you. You don't get the car you want. I know American Express has discovered it does not matter how great your credit is after the bankruptcy. The fact that you have that blemish on your credit report kills your chance of getting credit with those banks. And those are prime banks. They don't mess with it. So if you were to do a bankruptcy, do a chapter 7. If you can, it's just a little bit of research, a little bit of information, do the bankruptcy on your own. You don't have to hire attorneys and make you feel like you have to do all this stuff. Here's a tip. If you're self-employed, or if you're a self-employed person, if you have to do bankruptcy, you can always file as indigent, which means you don't earn any income. If you're self-employed, more likely people who are self-employed or have their own businesses or self-employed in the sense of being some sort of a broker or something like that, they may not file a lot of income, which we don't, right? You're going to file a loss because you basically didn't earn any money for the most part in order to get some sort of return to kind of refuel your business for the next year. That's been the game. You can keep it real if you want to. You can lie if you want to, whatever, but just keep it real. If you're self-employed, you're going to file a loss, okay? Unless you're trying to get a loan, okay? So we'll get to that later. So you're indigent. You don't make any income. File your own information. There are templates you can go to. There are people I can get you in contact with that can help you along the way to filing your own bankruptcy. You just pay the court filing fees and whatever the fees they told you to pay, and you're out the door. You do your own bankruptcy. You represent yourself. It's not difficult. Make sure you look at your credit report, look at all your creditors. I don't care if you had any type of judgments. You go through your Cook County records or whatever county you're seeing in, Will County, whatever county. Look at whatever records of judgments that's against you. Get those docket numbers and put them on that information, on that template. You put them all in the information, all your accounts, everything you had, you put under bankruptcy. That's if you do that. So I encourage you, if you're going to do a bankruptcy, it's okay to do it on your own. It's okay. What we got to stop being afraid of is learning to do things. I've just learned something recently, that we never stop learning, we never stop growing. Regardless if we get older, we just start getting more complacent or start giving up and thinking that it's not going to happen. And so with this situation, don't be afraid to look into it. Do your own bankruptcy. If you're going to do a bankruptcy, do a Chapter 7. There's no need to do it in Chapter 13 and do a Chapter or anything else unless you got a home you're trying to save. And that home has to be the almighty home that grandma and them left you, and it has means so much and there's so many memories. If there's nothing like that, you can get that again, because banks will finance you again after 2 years of a bankruptcy. You can go back and get an FHA loan after you've been discharged from the bankruptcy in 2 years. You rent for a couple months or you build your credit, and I give people options of how to, that's what the whole SCN, CPN process is for, is to help you to get through while you're dealing with the bankruptcy. So please, don't do a 13. Why? Why are you doing bankruptcy? Doing a 13. Now, the only other reason, and I didn't mention this, is if you have tickets. City of Chicago, a lot of these places now are very, very adamant on making sure you pay. You can't get around the city tickets. I haven't figured that out just yet. But if you got tickets, boot tickets, all that kind of stuff, they want you to do some payment arrangement, blah, blah, blah. You don't need a bankruptcy to help you do that, though. You know what I'm saying? Unless they suspended your license, and they'll put a stop to it. But if you call us, 708-228-2222, not trying to do a commercial, I can show you how to raise a little capital to pay them. Basically help you with a CPN, SCN. If you let me build it out, I'll show you how to do it. How do you get your capital? Use that as credit card. Use that credit card. You pay the tickets. You get rid of the debt. You loosen your license, or you release your license. You release your license. You move on with your life. You don't have to wear the noose or the burden of having a bankruptcy over your head because you had to go to work because you don't have a license. So now you have, you know what I'm saying? So that's that point. I really want to drive that home. A lot of people don't really understand that, or they kind of get so nervous. Now, here's the other thing. Stop being intimidated by these banks and these collection agencies. Number one, I'm not going to curse on this, but number one, collection agency ain't S. You know what that means. Sugar, honey, iced tea. They just companies that buy debt from someone else, and they contact you. The moment they contact you and you agree to owing them by signing something or giving them some sort of a payment, you've now gotten to a new binding contract with that debt collector. Okay, so you don't owe them a dime. They didn't borrow. As long as you know money, you don't owe them any money. Bottom line. So number one, bankruptcy. If you do it, Chapter 7, unless you are in dire straits and you want to keep your home, or you want to keep the car, or you're in a situation where you just have no choices. That's the only reason. Do it Chapter 7. If you do it Chapter 7, Google, YouTube, how to do a Chapter 7 on your own. If you don't have any time, any patience, or you just can't retain the information, or you just ridiculously too lazy to do it, contact us. I'll put you in touch with people who can help you and guide you along the way. You don't have to pay thousands of dollars to an attorney, a retainer fee, all that stuff. It sounds good, but it's unnecessary, okay? I can help you with that. The second thing is do not communicate with these collection agencies. You don't have to talk to them. You don't owe them any money. If they don't have anything signed by you, given to them, stating that you should pay them, you don't owe them anything, okay? It's not, if they paid your collection for you, now they have a thing where they say, we're collecting for this bank, that's fine. But if they paid your collection for you, that's on them. They paid your debt. If you owe AT&T $2,000, $3,000, or $1,000, and they paid it, and now Ed Collection is coming after you for that amount of money, but I want to settle, that's not your fault that I paid AT&T. So you don't owe Ed Collection Agency anything, okay? Remember that. Keep that in the back of your mind. Don't do a plea bargain on your credit. You don't have to. This is all numbers and paperwork and just all type of, it's really not that deep. And I might get criticized for that, but it is what it is. I'm gonna give it to you straight, and just follow my channel. I'm going to give you the real. You're not going to be out here butt naked trying to do this stuff and trying to figure stuff on your own. Where you can come to somebody like us and we can help you. We can help you get you what you need to get you put in a situation where you can help your family better and you can get credit, the finances you need, especially if you're trying to do right. This ain't card cracking. This ain't BSing people. This is actually legit stuff. UpYourCreditGame.com. www.upyourcreditgame.com. Holla back.